Snapchat is getting ready to go public with an estimated $3 billion IPO. But despite the company's early success and popularity, investors remain uncertain. We may be able to glean some of the challenges that lie ahead by looking at the recent history of another social media powerhouse, Twitter. When that company went public in 2013, it was trading at around $45 a share. It ended this past week trading at just over $15.50. The company has struggled to find a working business model and sustain user growth. For more on this, we are joined by Nick Martell of Market Snacks. All right, so Nick, this to me is so fascinating because on the face of it, it seems like you should be able to compare Twitter and Snapchat. They're both social media companies, right?
Absolutely, and at a first look, that's how it appears. They both lost roughly the same amount of money last year, $400 and $500 million. And when it comes to Twitter, the sad fact is they've never made a profit any quarter. Snapchat's come out early and said the same thing. Look, we may not make a profit ever. And they're saying that in their first regulatory filing. So the first thing you think of is, yeah, this could be the same case. But then when we jump into the details, there's some pretty significant differences here, especially with the user base. And at Market Snacks, we like to joke around that the target for Snapchat is kind of these warm millennials. So millennials born after the Cold War. And that's the bread and butter, the 18 to 24-year-olds for Snapchat who are using it all the time.
Let me ask you, though, last year, Facebook, the Facebook-owned Instagram launched their own stories feature. And I wonder, did that cut into the Snapchat consumer base at all? Because I know for myself, I felt like a lot of times I couldn't tell if I was looking at Snapchat or Instagram stories, and I actually got rid of my Snapchat.
Facebook was very, very blatant about this. They said they copied it. They're very honest about it, and they did, and it did cut in. Got about 80% drop in growth for users for Snapchat as a result of that. But the key here for Snapchat is they're never going to really compete with Facebook. You know, Snapchat is 2.5 billion users a day. That's compared to 60 billion WhatsApp messages that go through every day, and WhatsApp's actually owned by Facebook. So they're never going to compete on that. They have to separate themselves as a different type of social media company. And that's what's happening with this IPO.
Yeah, so how does that work, though? I mean, are they going to be able to, or do they want to broaden their reach besides just those very young consumers that you mentioned, the 18 to 24-year-olds?
Well, it's not just focusing on the 18 to 24-year-olds and expanding that. It's creating a whole different type of social media experience. And that means Snapchat's no longer really a social media company, it's a camera company. And they're coming out and saying that in this first filing that came out. They're saying, look, we are a camera company. You open up Snapchat on your phone, you're not seeing a news feed, you're not seeing, a picture of the quinoa bowl your buddy took the other night. What you're seeing is a camera, and it's staring at you, and it's begging for you to become the reality TV star among all your friends.
Yeah, does it risk alienating some users, though, if it starts making these decisions that might benefit investors ahead of the user? Or are you saying with this camera feature, for instance, they are keeping the users in mind? Yeah,
they're keeping the users in mind, but in a kind of funny, strategic way. Snapchat's known for not being super intuitive. And when you hand it to your mom, she's probably not going to get it right off the bat. But Snapchat's cool with that. They're saying, look, that's fine. We'll stick with the young, cool kids for now. And it's okay if the older generations can't totally adapt. After the IPO, that may change a bit, but that's been kind of the strategy leading up to now, has been it's okay if the actual user interface isn't clear.
So what is your crystal ball telling you? I mean, what do you expect to happen here after this initial public offering?
Well, there are two kind of exciting routes that people keep talking about. There is this future for Snapchat that's like MySpace, and then there's a future for Snapchat that's like Facebook. So the MySpace future is, look, user growth has already started to slow. This is going to become the app that's downloaded on your phone, but you're never really opening it up. And the people who make all the money off of it are the VCs, all the venture capital investors who got in early. So that's one route. The second one is the Facebook one. And we look at Facebook stock, struggled at first, then Facebook figured out mobile ads, and now mobile ads make up 84% of their ad sales, which is huge from the last quarter. Snapchat may have initial struggles, but like Facebook, it's focusing on the long term. They see themselves as a camera company, and that means a future with virtual reality, augmented reality, and if they can play that long game, it's very different from a MySpace scenario.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see if that works for them. Nick Martell, thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.